Welcome back to Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz. Overreaction Monday. Champs and Chups Monday. Text us 50857. Get on that iHeartRadio talkback line as well. We like to call it the Rage Cage. Is it time for a motivational quote of the day?
It very much is. Our daily source of motivation and inspiration, and today's is about flushing it and moving forward. No, this is not a poop quote, Mike. What makes a mistake more troubling is when they linger and when they affect the next event. I hate making the same mistake twice myself, or letting a bad day become a worse day because you're trying to overcorrect or you're frustrated and then you say something that you don't really want to say out loud. Or like I do this one all the time because I'm kind of a klutz, where I'm in a rush, I'm in a bad mood, and I'm trying to get from one thing to the next, and then I'll swipe something and just call it like a vase on the shelf, and then it'll smash. Now all of a sudden, having a bad day, I feel hurried, and now I've made it exponentially worse because now not only is this thing broken, now I need to clean it, and now I'm even more behind.
Right.
So that's the way that I interpret that. So again, the quote is, what makes a mistake more troubling is when they linger and when they affect the next event. Like when one interception becomes two. We see that a lot in the football world.
That's right. Don't look in the rearview mirror, look in the windshield.
That's why they say that as pitchers and as quarterbacks, you have to have the memory of a goldfish.
Right. Wow. All right, let's do some college headlines and highlights. Man, Ole Miss, Kejuan Lacey rushes for 224 yards, 3 touchdowns to lead number 6 Ole Miss past the Gators 34-24 Saturday night. Do we have a little Trinidad highlight?
The Gators try to adjust. Roll out for Chambliss. In trouble with a stiff arm. Keeps the play alive. Stays in bounds. The creativity to Dejan Stribling for another.
Trinidad Chambliss getting it done for Ole Miss. Florida now 3-7. They've lost 20 consecutive games away from Gainesville against ranked opponents. As Coach Lane Kiffin's squad left the field, Ole Miss fans were chanting, "We want Lane! We want Lane!" in a bid to persuade him to stay at Ole Miss because obviously he's flirting with the Gators. In fact, Kiffin sidestepped the question after the game about his coaching future. Will he remain at Ole Miss?
Lane read the story from Ross Dellinger this week that he had that sit down with you, and there was a really striking quote there at the end where you talked about picturing yourself being at the elite blue bloods, but you sort of changed and you didn't think it was necessarily a place like Ole Miss, but you've sort of changed your way of thinking, and that maybe this is the last chapter. There's a lot of talk about you for coaching searches right now. Do you anticipate being the head coach at Ole Miss next year?
Yeah, I think the last chapter thing makes me feel like I'm like 80 years old, So I don't like being old, so I don't really like that part of the story that makes me feel like I'm on my last chapter. So I love what we're doing here. Today was awesome, and I don't talk about that stuff. And really, to even talk about it right now would be so disrespectful to our players and how well they played today. So, we got a lot of things going here, doing really well, and I love it here. So.
Oh God! That was the kiss of death.
So disrespectful. That's like when somebody asks you a question, like you ask me a question sometimes on the radio, and I don't know the answer, and I go, "I'm not even gonna dignify that with a remark, with an answer." Right?
That is college football. Once he said that, I was like, wow, he is going to Florida.
Right?
That is college football coaching code for I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Once you say it would be disrespectful to the players to have that conversation.
I think it would be respectful to the players if you said, "You know what, I'm staying." Wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, if he was,
Right.
it's not respectful if he would lie.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Wow, so good for the Gators. I feel like that was almost a breaking news job announcement.
Yeah.
Is what I heard in that clip.
Yeah, that was like when we had Scott Frost on the radio, when he was at UCF before his last interview on the
Right.
radio, where he essentially told us he was leaving, but he didn't say he was leaving.
Right. He wouldn't say he was leaving, but he was crying. It was like, all right, Scott,
Right.
I got it. We got it. You're out.
Speaking of Scott Frost, UCF gets clobbered 48-9 Saturday by 8th-ranked Texas Tech. UCF 1-6 in conference play. Didn't pick up a first down until they trailed 21-0. All right, it was a seal clubbing, is what it was. Here was Scott Frost after the game.
It's hard. The one thing that sticks out to me is they just look like they're playing a different speed than us, and part of that is their personnel. Part of it is just we got to keep growing as a team. We got to play with more speed of execution. All week I talked to guys about being fighters and being guys that you want to go to battle with. We got a lot of those guys, and they play hard. They won't quit. We just got to be better, and we got outclassed a little bit today, particularly in the first half.
Overreaction. Scott Frost didn't realize just how far UCF is behind.
Oh, stop.
Hey?
He spent the whole week talking about how far they were behind.
He didn't, but he
There
didn't.
was he had no confidence that they were going to do anything in that game. I completely disagree with you. He knew exactly what was going to happen.
I'm not talking about this week. I'm talking about when he took this job.
Oh.
He had no idea UCF was this bad off.
You might be on to something with that one.
Right.
That could be accurate.
Right.
But this week he knew. He knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. He definitely knew. Florida State getting it done. Tommy Castellanos had a pair of touchdown runs. Also threw this 50-yard pass to Deuce Robinson.
In the backfield with Castellanos. Castellanos to throw. Has all kinds of time in the pocket. Got a receiver wide open. That's Deuce. Shakes a tackler inside the 10. He'll score.
Deuce Robinson comes up big again. Florida State beats Virginia Tech 34-14. Do I have an overreaction here? Florida State is now 1 win from bowl eligible. Here's my overreaction. All right.
They're making a bowl game.
No. Florida State's 5-5 right now. 5-5. They win their last two games against NC State and Florida. That's 7-5. Florida State fans should be ecstatic with a 7-5 record after going 2-10 last year.
I can't co-sign that.
No?
That's ecstatic. Pleased, I could get down with.
How about content?
Well, those are two completely different emotions.
I'll go with content then. They should be content with going 7-5.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
They should be. Yeah, but that's not an overreaction, so you're going to have to walk that one back a little bit.
You think they are content at 7-5?
I think you said they should be.
Yeah.
I think they should be.
Oh, yeah.
Because it all goes back to forget about the ride and how we got to this destination at the end of the season. If I told a Florida State fan at the end of last year, don't worry, you're going 7-5 next season, they go, okay.
Right.
I'll take that.
Right.
So we're not going 2-10 again, right? We're making a bowl game. We're winning more games than we lose.
Right.
Yes, I will sign up for that. So that's content.
All right, Miami rolls past NC State 41-7. Here's my overreaction. Even though Miami rolled, it was a bad weekend for Miami because Alabama lost, which means Alabama is another team in the at-large category now that Miami's going to have to jump over.
This is part of the reason why I had no confidence that they were going to be able to push their way in. Their resume just isn't going to stack up because of their overall schedule. Playing an ACC schedule, it's just really hard to rack up really impressive wins. You got the one against Notre Dame. That definitely counts for something because this Notre Dame team is for real, but it was also so early in the season. It's not like you did it in November, which it just carries more weight that way. And you've got all these other teams that are in front of them in the Big 12 where every game is tough, in the SEC where every game is tough. it's going to be hard for them at the end of the year to go, yeah, we should be above, BYU or one of those
If
teams.
it comes down to it between Miami and Alabama, who are they picking, Kravitz?
Oh, you're just talking about the marketability of it?
I'm just talking about SEC. We saw Alabama got picked over Florida State when Florida State was 13 and freaking 0.
Yeah, Miami's going to go, they lost to Florida State, and we mollywopped them. And the Twinnies going to go, I'm sorry, who is this?
Right. All right, those are your college headlines and highlights.
Coming up next, Gators insider Edgar Thompson sheds some light on the clues that we are picking up out of Ole Miss. That's right here on Game On next.
It's been kind of cool lately. Beautiful weather out. Not too hot, not too muggy. This is the best time to call Ziegler Air Conditioning for your maintenance check. Jason and his crew have been keeping Central Florida cool for 40 years. They know what Florida heat can do to your system. Believe me, they don't just show up like some of these companies and say, yep, everything's fine. Talk to you in 6 months. They actually take things apart, all right? They service your unit. They check every connection. They blow all of that nasty, gunky stuff out of your drain lines. They make sure you're running efficiently before the next heat wave closes in. Their maintenance plan includes 2 visits a year, and their technicians actually teach you how to take care of your system. They give you good little tips like run your ceiling fans because it makes you feel cooler, and by circulating the air, that allows you to set your thermostat to a higher, more energy-efficient temperature. And when you need them most, they're there. Just like Labor Day weekend when it was 95 degrees out and my AC died, Ziegler Air was at my door within an hour. They're honest, they're quick, they're never pushy, just pros doing what they do best. Give them a call, 407-245-8765, 407-245-8765. Ziegler Air Conditioning. Don't ever lose your cool. Let's head up to Gainesville, talk to our Gators insider, my colleague at the Orlando Sentinel, Edgar Thompson. Check out all of his Gators coverage on the coaching search and the games at orlandosentinel.com. You can also hit up his his podcast, which is now on video. Edgar, you and Mark Longer on YouTube now, I saw.
I have a face for radio, unfortunately, but yeah.
Good. I enjoy the podcast every week, and I even like it better now that I can see you, Edgar. See the inflection?
See me raving?
Right. So we played the clip earlier, Edgar, of Lane Kiffin essentially sidestepping the question about whether he's going to be at Ole Miss next year, saying it would be disrespectful to the players to even answer that. It sounds to me like if he was going to be at Ole Miss, he would have answered that question. Edgar, where are we at in the coaching search?
I agree, and we'll be stunned if Lane Kiffin isn't Florida's next football coach at this point. Now, the question is when.
Right.
Does he announce this in the wake of the Egg Bowl? He could solve that problem by being going down to Starkville and laying an egg. No pun intended, actually, but and that might knock him out of the playoffs. Ole Miss at 2 losses still could get in, though. I do think the Oklahoma win on the road is really the only super impressive win on Ole Miss's season. They haven't had many. I think it's a very good team and probably should be in the playoffs. So they get to the playoff, and then it gets real tricky. You beat Mississippi State, then you get a December 19th or 20th home game, and you're going to be in Oxford, as a lame duck coach. I don't know how all of it works and no one does. I don't know if Lane knows. The Ole Miss people know. I hear Ole Miss is this week really aims to leverage a decision from him. Maybe he's already made the decision, but they want to hear what it is. Maybe he hasn't. Maybe he goes to a hot yoga, class and meditates and has an epiphany that Oxford's where he needs to be. He and his family, he's changed his life for the better, grown as a man, and decides that, hey, I just can't leave this place. But these guys there's a very mercenary mentality, even more so than ever in the sport. And he even said it the other night to a question I asked about setting aside the distraction of the Kiffin to Florida rumors and all that. And he talked about, hey, the players have these distractions all the time with the portal, and every time they have a big game, someone's hitting them up. So it's that's where the sport is. And for him, after 6 seasons at Ole Miss, maybe he needs another professional challenge, and he'd certainly get one here at Florida, where the stakes will be elevated and the stage will be bigger.
So I enjoyed your story where you talked to the Ole Miss fans up at the Grove, the famous tailgating spot up at Ole Miss. It was a good story. But you also talked to DJ Lagway. What sort of vibe are you getting from him? Obviously, it's been an awful year for him. His coach got fired. He was part of the reason his coach got fired. What do you think's going through DJ Lagway's mind right now?
Well, I actually went to Lane and Leanna Handler, who is our intern, who's doing a fantastic job for us, works for the Alligator, the independent Alligator up here. She actually, I thought, really described the scene well. DJ slumped in his chair, beanie pulled down almost down over his eyes, just dejected, despondent, and admitting how just emotionally draining this entire year has been going back to January. He's been injured all year, and it's finally kind of becoming obvious, because the other night, DJ Lagway actually looked healthy for the first time. He made a couple of downfield throws that looked really easy, like they used to. He ran the ball, I believe, better than he has at Florida. He had a run on 3rd and 9 where he just took off up the middle for 10 yards. And then he had one around the end for 12 more, and then finished it off 2 plays later, 5 up the middle on a keeper. So that was nice to see out of DJ. And if I'm Lane Kiffin and I'm watching that, I'm like, I might be able to work with that. Whereas, a couple weeks ago, it'd be like, is Lane Kiffin even want DJ Lagway around? If I'm Lane Kiffin, or if Lane Kiffin's taking advice from me, I would keep DJ Lagway and try to, work with him and see what you can get, because I think there's a lot there. So we'll see how that all plays out. But that was a pretty good showing the other night until the fourth quarter interception, which was tried to force a play. And it was a nice play by Ole Miss to tip it and intercept it, but it was a high risk throw across your body rolling, to the left when you're right-handed. It was probably ill-advised.
Talking to Edgar Thompson, he is the Orlando Sentinel Gators beat writer. How do you feel the team is responding to Billy Gonzalez? Does he have a legit shot of staying on whoever's staff it is in the future?
I think he does have a legit shot for a few reasons. One, he has deep roots to this community and this program. I think he's a pretty respected receivers coach with a nice resume. I don't know who Lane has there. I do. I mean, I looked it up, but Billy has a track record that's superior to this guy's. I mean, they're listing like Philip Dorsett as one of his guys. Well, he ain't Percy Harvin, right? He isn't, Kadarius Toney, the way he turned his thing. Now, forget the NFL, but that third-team All-American year he had in 2020 was really an evolution of that young man. Van Jefferson, who came here and went from a pretty good player to an excellent player. The list goes on with him. And he would also he's familiar with this incoming recruiting class. He'd be able to stick around and help kind of keep that going and represent the Gators on signing day, which is like December 3rd or whatever, 2nd. So Lane would be preparing for a playoff game. And I think he'd be a good guy to have around. In terms of how the team's responding to him, I'm seeing a pretty healthy response. The Georgia game they fought. The Kentucky game was just a tough one, man. You're coming off a loss to your rival. You're going to Lexington at night. You're just like playing off the string. It got away from you. The turnovers just came one after the other, and it just snowballed into a mess. They played well at Ole Miss, the Gators, 24-20 at halftime. Now, they didn't score in the second half, and that's not good. And we're outscored 14-0 in the fourth quarter, which continues a trend that's been going on long before Billy Gonzalez took over. Their fourth quarter performances have been atrocious, but I think that they're responding well, and I personally feel he's handled himself with incredible professionalism during his press conferences. Some people are critical of you reading stats or doing that. What do you expect? The guy's trying to come in prepared. He's never been a head coach. I think he's handling the spotlight pretty well.
Wow. Edgar Thompson, he is our Gators insider. He joins us every single week to talk Gators football. Edgar, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Up next, your texts, your talkbacks, and we've got our champs and chumps, our early nominations coming your way on Game On. Don't go anywhere. Got the Hard Rock Bet app up on my phone right now as we speak. College football's race for a playoff spot coming down to the wire this past weekend was phenomenal in the college realm. Every game, every rivalry, every upset, it matters more than ever. And you can do more than just sit back and watch the chaos unfold on Saturdays. You can bet on it. Join the Hard Rock Bet app today. Bet $5. If it hits, you'll take home $150 in bonus bets on top of your winnings, and that is how you build a bankroll, my friends. Monday Night Football action tonight, looking at some Trey Tucker props. In fact, I'm going to go all Trey Tucker here as he takes over as the number one wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders. Didn't play itself out last week in that snooze fest against the Broncos, but Trey Tucker's touchdown, Trey Tucker over 45.5 yards and over 3.5 catches for Trey Tucker pays out plus 325. And they'll give you the 30% profit boost right there on the Hard Rock Bet app. Head to Hard Rock, roll with us, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. in year 4. So you can take that take and stuff it. Do not break up this duo.
Listen to Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WYGM Orlando, WJRR, HD2, Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Free never sounded so good.
This is Paulo Banchero with the Orlando Magic, and you're locked into Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz.
Welcome back to Game On, FM 96.9 in Orlando, AM 930 in Jacksonville. You got us on the Spear in Tallahassee today as well. Text in 50857 and hit us on the iHeartRadio Talkback. We call that the Rage Cage. Plenty to rage about across the world of sports. And Mondays, Mike, as you know, we don't overthink this bad boy called Sports Talk Radio on a Monday. Armchair quarterback, all of this. The text question is your overreactions to the weekend. What are you overreacting to? We want those at 50857. Got some that are rolling in on the text line. I have multiple computers up in front of me, and going back and forth between these mouses is going to be the greatest challenge that I face all day. Somebody said Brock Bowers 2 touchdowns tonight, so looking forward to that.
Good.
Could happen.
Yeah.
He's minus 110 to score 1.
I have a question for you based on the text we got.
What's up?
Somebody texted, how much better is Gainesville, Florida compared to Oxford, Mississippi? I grew up in Gainesville. I was born in Gainesville. Gainesville's a great town. I love Gainesville. Oxford's a nice town. And here, my question is, though, these coaches, like they're, Lane Kiffin's in his 50s, It's not like these coaches are out like, NBA players. Hey, we want to go to a place where the clubs are, man. It's like,
right.
They have their mansions wherever they're living. What do they care where they're living?
You want good property value. Yeah. I don't think the weather is that different. That's a factor. Then especially more important as you get older. I don't think that comes into play for these guys. That's why I said weeks ago, one of the many reasons this feels like a lateral move going from Ole Miss to Florida. Is it that different right now? We are back in 60 seconds after this Fox Sports update.
No favorites, just facts. Let's find out who showed up and who showed out. It's time for Champ or Chump.
Champs and Chumps brought to you by Tools Ace Hardware, your neighborhood home maintenance expert. Visit them online, toolsacehardware.com. In fact, Mike, as we get started on Champs and Chumps, Tools Ace is one of our many Magic sponsors. How about some highlights from last night? Magic Rockets. How about it, Jake?
Durant in his bag, 3 ball, off the bounce is good. We're tied. 100 apiece, and Jamal Mosley will take time. 21.4 seconds remaining. Durant, the shot of the night, and we are tied at 100. He's looking. He's still looking. Gets it to Durant. He fell over. Anthony Black comes up with it. Black dunks it down. He dunked it down with 1.7 seconds left. Rockets still have an opportunity here, but a turnover, a run out, and an AB jam, and the Magic lead is 2 with 1.7 seconds left. And here we go. Thompson slabs the ball. Still looking. They dump it in for Şengün. Hook shot is up and good for Alperen Şengün. And I think we're headed to overtime. They're going to double check and see if there's any time left. Durant uses an Adams screen and rolls right. Now Durant to the free throw line. Dumps it underneath for Thompson. He dumps it down. Kevin Durant orchestrating, and Thompson gets a two-handed jam. Rockets up 1.
Yeah, you know what they say, Mike. Overtime, where underdogs go to die. And once that game was pushed to OT, kind of had a feeling how that one was going to wrap up. But can I give the Magic a champ today?
Sure.
After this weekend, they won 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
They dug themselves out of the mud against a really bad Brooklyn Nets team, but a win is a win is a win. And then played a game without Paolo, without Jalen Suggs, and had a double-digit lead for most of the game against a really good Houston Rockets team. The best offense in the NBA right now, held them to 102 points in the first 4 quarters before they wound up scoring 117. But the overall champ of it all for the Magic, it's not so much I do think it's a moral victory. I try not to overuse that, but that is exactly what that felt like last night. You kind of left the game going, this team's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's called the moral victory. Franz Wagner, tough as nails. This guy, here you have Jalen Suggs picks up a groin issue. I don't know if he saw Paolo was out with it and thought that's a cool way to miss a game. And then you have Paolo, who is dealing with a groin issue, now out multiple games. Franz is wearing a face mask. He looks like Batman.
Nose has got a scab on it.
And he got hit in the nose last night.
Right.
He starts bleeding again, and he just goes right back out there. He is so underappreciated by Magic fans at large. We spend so much time, and this isn't an anti-Paolo take,
right?
But we spend so much time talking about him like he's the only guy. It is very much 1A, 1B between the two of them. I don't think there is much difference in their star quality, at least the way that we talk about it, the way that we perceive this team, the way that the team is perceived nationwide. They should be treated as equals in the eyes of fans.
Right. I'm trying to remember, by the way, and I don't want to dwell on Anthony Black's missed free throw after he had the steal. You heard the steal in the highlights. What was the score after he had the steal and the dunk? They were up by 2?
They were up by 2.
They were up by 2. If he'd have made the free throw, they would have been up by 3. Then yeah, that's when Şengün comes down and makes the 2-pointer, right?
Yeah, you went one-on-one with Jonathan Isaac.
Jonathan Isaac has one job. Play defense, all right? Although that guy's hard to stop.
I mean, how you unless you get another 2 feet of elevation to block the shot, what are you supposed to do? That's that Euro floater. It's just he's perfected that.
Right. But if the free throw is made, they would have had to make a 3-pointer to tie the game.
Yeah.
But
right.
Anyway, moral victory.
Yes, moral victory for the Magic. But my number one champ goes to Josh Allen. I mean, he didn't even play that good of a game. Eye test-wise, I did not think Josh Allen looked amazing. Obviously, the stat line makes that take sound ridiculous. But in just watching the game, I thought, man, it's a pretty shaky performance from Josh Allen. Then all of a sudden, you look at his stat line.
6
this
touchdowns.
Guy has done everything. I love Jonathan Taylor. I think he deserves MVP love. But Josh Allen won it yesterday.
Wow.
It's over. 44 points on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who do have a decent defense, by the way. Mike, his leading receiver was Terrell Shavers. Who is that?
Who?
You know how much I dissect this stuff every single week? I've never heard this man's name in my life, and that was his leading receiver.
I mean, that last touchdown run, that 9-yarder, we played the clip earlier if you want to play it again. But the guy is just an absolute monster when he wants to be. He can just take a game over and will his team to victory. In fact, that's what I think the game plan was. Josh Allen We lost to the Dolphins last week. Okay, do what you want to do to win the game.
Right. This was the Bills' game plan yesterday against Tampa Bay.
3 receivers left, counting the tight end, 1 to the right. And it's a tunnel screen. Ty Johnson threw a hole and up the sideline, 40, 35, 30. It's a foot race, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Ty Johnson. Mercy. 51 yards to pay dirt. 3 receivers to the left. Cook to the right of Allen in the shotgun here on 2nd and 4. Allen back to pass. Now going to tuck it and run as he's looking for the end zone. And the surge pushes him in for his 6th touchdown of the season. Or the game.
Yeah, hopefully you weren't playing against him in fantasy yesterday. 3 if by land, 3 if by sea. Champ, Josh Allen. What about you, Mike?
My champ goes to Marta. Even though the Orlando Pride lost in the NWSL semifinal yesterday on what I thought was a questionable ticky-tack foul right at the end of the game, right at the end of stoppage time. That allowed a free kick for Gotham. They make the kick. They win 1-0. But Marta, obviously, 39 years old. Her press conference mesmerized me after the game. It was mesmerizing that she was so upset. She was so disappointed. She broke down and started crying that they lost the game on this questionable call. I just want you to play a little bit of her. She was asked about her future. I mean, she's 39 years old. She's double the age of many of these NWSL players. And she was asked, hey, what's your future? Do you still have that drive and fire? And listen to this answer.
I still care about this so much. Normally I say to myself, don't go to training. Don't go, don't put yourself in this situation if you don't want to do. Don't waste your time. So I'm not here for waste my time. I never was. I still want to win, I still hungry. Guys, I'm not play because what I did in the past. I'm play because I still feeling I can do something interesting for, of course, for people who come here and love to see when I play, but for this team, for my teammates, for the staff, and of course for support. But I care so much, I care.
She cares. That's why she is the greatest to ever play the game. She's 39 years old. She's accomplished everything you can accomplish in soccer. 6-time World Player of the Year. She won the championship last year in NWSL. Many people thought, oh, she'll just ride off into the sunset after winning the championship last year. No, she still wants to kick ass.
Yeah, you can tell. If you have not seen that press conference, watch it.
Man.
It's motivational just to see the passion that she talks about, about that sport, about her performance, about the team. You're right. When you sent that link to me, I hadn't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching this, and I was equally mesmerized watching her describe all of that. Grit, passion, talent. She's got all of that. That is why she's one of the best to ever do it.
Quick chump for me. Are we doing chump?
Yeah. Let's do a chump.
Chump is Newsweek. I sent you the link earlier. Newsweek, which used to be
really lame.
Newsweek used to be like this reputable publication, Newsweek, Time magazine. Newsweek was one of the big boys in journalism, right? So I was Googling Lane Kiffin this morning, and I came across the Newsweek article with the headline, Ole Miss could fire Lane Kiffin before college football playoff. That was the headline. Ole Miss could fire Lane Kiffin before the college football playoff. So I click on it. Obviously, Newsweek, they've got something here.
Right.
All right.
It has to be legit.
So I'm reading the story, and it says, here was their news hook here. During an episode of Josh Pate's college football show on Sunday, the host suggested He'd fire Kiffin if he didn't sign a contract extension and would promote defensive coordinator Pete Golding as the interim coach for the college football playoff. That's it. That's their news peg. That some college football podcast says this is what I do in Newsweek. Newsweek.
And Josh Pate is a credible college football analyst.
But he didn't say sources.
Right. He said, hey, this is what I would do in this situation. It's like me a couple of weeks ago saying, I think the Dolphins shouldn't fire Mike McDaniel. They should demote him to offensive coordinator.
Hey.
That's just an idea. That's not a report. There's a very big difference. And it sounds like Pate had an idea, not a report. We should not be reporting ideas as reports.
Newsweek. Mike McDaniel could be demoted to offensive coordinator.
I would love to see that pop up. My chump goes to USF. No shame in losing to the midshipmen, I suppose. But come on. This was your chance to punch your ticket.
Right.
Head to the playoff, and they blew it. Navy ran all over them, 338 yards, and they lost their quarterback for most of the second half, and USF still couldn't get it done. They're going to need so much.
Byron Brown tried to get it done.
His stat line, he's Josh Allen-like with the numbers that he put up, but forget about the college football playoff. They need help just to get to the American Athletic Conference title game, which is also now a long shot because they lost to another AAC team.
Yeah.
Bad all around.
That was a hell of a game to watch, though.
It was. College football Saturday kept me very entertained.
Right.
Up next, champs and chumps. Nope, we just did that. Just kidding. Up next, we're going to hear from you. Got a lot of texts rolling in. We're going to lean on your reactions to the weekend. 50857. Light us up. Let us know what you think. Also available on the iHeartRadio Talkback. We're back with that next.
Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz.
It is tailgate season in Orlando, and nothing hauls those coolers, the crew, and the victory flags like a Chevy Silverado. At Don Mealy Chevrolet, your truck headquarters for 50 years, the Red Tag event is off and running. You can lease a 2026 Silverado 1500 LT for just $409 a month for 36 months, or grab 0% APR financing for 36 months. Don Mealy started this family business 5 decades ago, and his son Jay still runs it today with the same local love, even sharing his personal email address to help customers score big. So pack the truck, fire up the grill, and roll out in a Silverado style, baby. Visit Don Mealy Chevrolet or dmchevy.com before the red tags are gone. Chevy, together, let's drive.
Is it just me, or is it almost time to throw the heater on? Before you do that, please make sure you have your AC checked out by the best in the business. Of course, I'm talking about Mills Air. And the bottom line is, for me, I don't skimp on quality and professionalism when it comes to something as important as my AC provider. Mills Air doesn't cut corners. They don't play games. They just deliver every single time. They're the MVP of AC technicians. Call Leon and the crew, schedule your appointment, and tell them that Brandon Kravitz from Game On sent you by. 407-277-1159 and online at millsair.com.
Traffic starting to crawl on I-4 westbound through that World Drive area. It's stop and go southbound before Osceola Parkway on Florida's Turnpike. You're going to run into some delays on I-4 getting through the city near that 408 interchange there. There's no accidents on the major roadways affecting your ride, although some familiar delays are starting to pile up this afternoon. See traffic troubles? Call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Batteries Plus. Dead car battery? The experts at Batteries Plus will have you in and out fast. Replacements usually take about 20 minutes. No appointment needed. Want to extend the life of your car battery too? Ask about their premier installation. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
Protect your home with Reese Windows and Doors. Trusted for over 50 years to deliver the highest quality factory direct impact windows available, with most installs done in under 8 weeks. And now the giveaway is bigger than ever. Win $25,000 in brand new windows absolutely free. Just text WOW to 20129. Already entered? Then you're automatically eligible to win $25,000 in windows. Don't wait. Text WOW to 20129.
Join us daily on 96.9 The Game for your Embers Only Cigar of the Week. Brought to you by Corona Cigar Company. Luxury cigar lifestyle, fine spirits, and relaxation await at your nearest Corona Cigar. Dr. Phillips, downtown, Heathrow, or online at coronacigar.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 407-204-0300. That's 407-204-0300.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Mark Daniels for International Diamond Center. Nobody knows diamonds like International Diamond Center, and nobody prices diamonds more fairly than IDC. Now, that includes lab-grown diamonds. If you're considering a lab-grown diamond, IDC has made arrangements with a wholesaler so they can save you thousands. The fact is, a lot of lab-grown diamonds being sold online and through other retailers are grossly overpriced with markups as much as 800%. The folks at IDC prefer natural diamonds, but they got tired of seeing lab-grown buyers being taken advantage of. So they found a way to offer a much less expensive lab-grown option. If you're thinking about a lab-grown diamond, see what IDC can do for you with their wholesaler connection. Another example of how IDC is revolutionizing retail jewelry with more transparency, honest pricing, and a long-term vision. Don't buy a diamond from any place else. It's our friends at IDC. Shop at IDC, International Diamond Center, Audubon Springs, Waterford Lakes, and Mall at Millennia.
Betting exchanges have become the new craze in sports betting, and there is no one on the internet that does it better than BetterEdge. So transparent, so honest, so user-friendly. BetterEdge gives you that little extra advantage that you need. I've said it many times. I've bet on sports for a while. I did not start making money consistently until I started using BetterEdge. I also share competitions every Friday that we can dive into together as well. My Beat Brandon Challenge. Sign up for the first time, get $20 on the house. Just use the promo code BeatBrandon when you sign up at BetterEdge.com or on the Better Edge app.
Macy's just dropped tons of new Black Friday deals. And with more being added every week, you can save on top gifts now. Like exclusive beauty sets, 50% off. Men's and women's PJs, 40 to 60% off. Handbags, 40 to 50% off. Plus, diamonds, 60% off. So come into Macy's, beat the rush, and get your holiday shopping done early. Black Friday starts here at Macy's. Savings off select styles. Exclusions apply.
We are Orlando's sports leader, broadcasting live from the FM 96.9 The Game studio. Brought to you by the Nickley Group, Orlando's home team, doing real estate differently. TheNickleyGroup.com.
Are you like everybody else in the world who has no idea what to get everyone for the holidays? Well, you're in luck. We got you. Hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with hands-free Skechers slip-ins, you just step into them and they're on. There's no bending down, no touching, no fuss. Plus, Skechers slip-ins come in everyone's favorite styles and colors. And you can get slip-ins everywhere stylish footwear is sold, including a Skechers store. Or if you're too busy to shop in person, just get them online at Skechers.com, Amazon, and more.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Do you own a small business? A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure.
Michael Eric Dyson for the Bail Project.
Our founders drafted the 8th Amendment to prohibit excessive cash bail. They never meant for it to hold people in jail. They knew excessive bail would create one system of justice for the rich and one for everyone else. But today, cash bail traps people in jail before they've even had their day in court. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Orlando's hometown sports station. This is 96.9 The Game, AM 740, and the free iHeartRadio app. Now back to Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz.
Text in 50857. It's an overreaction Monday. We want to hear from you. Magic versus Wizards tomorrow night at Kia Center. Bring the popcorn. Bring your ears to the radio. Pregame at 6:30. Game day coverage powered by IBEW Local 606. Proud to serve electrical workers across Central Florida, providing its members a supportive community, training, valuable benefits, and advancement opportunities. Let's not waste any more time, Mikey. Let's see what the listeners have to say today. This one says, Brandon's description of the Magic is like when NFL Films does a season review of a 6-10 team and makes them look like one of the best teams in the league. The Magic are a mediocre team that have done nothing. I do miss those.
They have the Magic have done nothing thus far in this current iteration.
And that's part of the reason why I call a loss to the Rockets a moral victory. If this was Oklahoma City or a team that has been, even the Knicks went to the conference finals last year.
Right.
Losing in overtime is not a moral victory. The Magic are still a team that is on the rise. Now, we think that throughout the 82 games, given the moves they made and growth internally and yada, yada, that they can make it to the point where they are a contender with these teams, but it's more of a projection than it is something that is painfully obvious and right in front of our faces. But since this person texted this in, I decided to go all the way with it here. So this is the Orlando Magic on NFL Films. The wizardry and deception of Magic basketball on full display. Shooting twos in a land of threes. Rebounding amongst the trees. In the game, no matter how it is to unfold, here to make the NBA quiver and quake and rob OKC of their gold. Other opponents shake and fret when they see Coach Mosley call on Pawn Jet. There you go.
What is that called? The pirate? What's that?
The autumn wind is a raider.
The autumn wind is a raider. Remember when Shot used to play that all the time?
Oh, every day. Every single day. Yeah. The autumn wind is a pirate. Blustering and yeah, no, that was great. Let's see what else we have on the text line at 50857. James Franklin officially to Virginia Tech. I've seen the rumors around that. I have not been on Twitter in the last 10 minutes.
ESPN reported, I saw it yesterday, that he was in negotiations. It said, sources, Virginia Tech finalizing deal to hire Franklin. Good for them. It's a good hire for them. Really good hire, I think.
It's a good spot for him. You fall from Penn State to Virginia Tech, a program that was... it's a little bit like Penn State, a once prestigious program that's looking to get back to that. I think on a slightly smaller scale, but still, Franklin showed
smaller scale. Penn State is
one of the all-time powers in college football. Right. But Virginia Tech had their day in the sun, and they've been out of the sun for a while.
He's in the ACC. Much easier.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Much easier.
Although, didn't he lose to UCLA? I think you can find your UCLAs in the ACC. Right. Somebody said overreaction. The Seahawks and the Bucs are the most underrated teams in the NFL, not just this year, but every year. Can they get some bloody respect? That's your overreaction? The day after they both took L's? The Bucs gave up 44 to the Buffalo Bills, and we're calling them underrated today? No, whatever rating you give the Bucs today, they deserve. And the Seattle Seahawks, talk about chumps. There's a team that should have absolutely won yesterday. Sam Darnold was the only reason that they weren't able to beat the LA Rams.
So good this year. He's been so good this year.
And he was back to seeing ghost Sam Darnold, just throwing the ball right into the chest of the defense. He gave his team no chance, and they still only lost by 2.
Right. Somebody just texted me. This isn't our text line, but somebody texted.
Oh, this is the direct line.
Yeah, and they texted a link to On 3 story written by one of the writers up in Gainesville. I really worry about the media today. I mean, I told you about the Newsweek story.
Yeah.
So here's what it says. On 3, and here's what the story essentially says. On 3 reporting that Lane Kiffin, quote, likely to make a decision before or after the Egg Bowl. Yeah, it's going to be before or after the Egg Bowl. I mean, writers are just writing stuff just to have something up there. Just to have something up there. And it worries me because our consumers, are they just going to keep clicking? Is that what it is? They're just going to keep clicking no matter what?
I don't know. I don't fully understand the rat race and the value of getting that click enough. I know that it is something that these companies and individuals seek. I think some are so hungry for the click that they don't think of the detriment that the lack of follow through after the click. They don't think about the impact that has long term. It's like eating candy for dinner. Like it feels like a good idea at the time, and then 10 minutes later you're hungry and you feel like crap.
There were last week or the week before, there was it looked like an official story online. All right, looked like an official story. Steve Spurrier's family very worried, about the health of the head ball coach. So I click on it, and it makes it sound like Spurrier's like gravely, deathly ill. So I call people that I know, and they go, I just saw him yesterday. He seems fine, and evidently there's like companies overseas that send this stuff out, and every time you get a click on it, they get like a penny or something. Yeah, and this story about Spurrier had like hundreds and thousands of clicks on it, and then people were like having prayers up.
Oh yeah, that's what gets me is the people that don't even bother looking into the story. They just comment on the post as if this is fact. Move on, and then they're gonna go and tell someone that they know.
Right.
I told you, my mother-in-law tells my wife, Mallory, that Taylor Swift is pregnant at least once a week. Still not true yet. Coming up next, at least not that I'm aware of.
Wow.
Mic'd Up, a Monday staple here from the players and coaches making the headlines this weekend. Right after this.
Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, we all know about the incredibly challenging economic environment that we're now in. Global unrest, tariffs, political polarization, it all creates volatility in the market. That's why I trust Trajan Wealth with my wealth management. Their investment team constantly evaluates the markets, and because they're independent, they're not tied to just one set of products. They built a portfolio for me around my goals, around my risk tolerance. I even moved over an old 401k I'd been ignoring, and now it's working for me instead of gathering dust. With everything going on, it pays to have fiduciaries who adjust your plan when the market shifts. Jeff Jr. is a Marine veteran who founded Trajan Wealth with that same code he learned in the Marine Corps. Semper Fi, always faithful to protecting and growing your financial future. If volatility has you stressed, call Trajan Wealth today, 407-213-0000, or visit TrajanWealth.com to schedule your free consultation. That's TRAJAN Wealth.com. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, SEC registered investment advisor, client, paid advertisement, additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
I've been telling you guys about Kevin Krager with LPT Realty, one of the top 25 producing agents in Central Florida. This guy is money, and he joins me now to talk about the latest in real estate. How is the market doing right now, and how can buyers take advantage?
The market is doing well. It's not crazy like it was a few years ago, but right now it is prime to buy real estate. Not so great for sellers, but it's prime to buy real estate. And one of the big things that buyers are getting now is instead of fighting over the cost of the home, we're fighting over concessions from sellers to buy down the rate, or make repairs, or cover your down payment. I think that the big thing right now is finding an agent that can negotiate, understands the market, and really, really fights to keep as much money as they can in your pocket.
And Kevin is that agent. When it comes to real estate, experience matters. Trust Kevin Krager to move you right along. Search his name on Facebook or call him today, 407-702-4635.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When the news overwhelms, clarity matters. NBC News looks deeper and listens wider. Clear reporting, free from opinion. NBC News, reporting for America.
It's about time pros had one partner for every part of the job. Simple ordering, fast delivery, continuous support, all from one partner. The Home Depot delivers supplies on your schedule. Our pro team helps you plan ahead so projects run smoother. And with Pro Extra benefits, you can simplify ordering, track spending, and save time every step of the way. Because with one partner, you get more than materials, you keep your job moving. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
At Farmers Insurance, we often wonder, why would you buy a top-of-the-line smartphone only to protect it with the cheapest case? Would you invest thousands in a home reno but use the cheapest electrical wiring? And to apply that common sense further, why would you ever compromise on the quality of your insurance? The answer is simple. You wouldn't. If it's important, it's not worth compromising. That's why with Farmers, you can get quality and savings. Get a quote today at farmers.com.
We are Farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers, Trucker Fire Insurance Exchanges, or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
Protect your home with Reese Windows and Doors. Trusted for over 50 years to deliver the highest quality factory direct impact windows available, with most installs done in under 8 weeks. And now the giveaway is bigger than ever. Win $25,000 in brand new windows absolutely free. Just text WOW to 20129. Already entered? Then you're automatically eligible to win $25,000 in windows. Don't wait. Text WOW to 20129.
Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz.
We just have one program that's perennially great in this state because we've lost that. Completely lost it.
Oh, we lost that about.
And we had hope coming into this season. I think you had DJ Lagway.
We lost that about 10 years ago.
Felt like we were getting it back.
When?
How about earlier in the year when I was predicting that Miami would be in the national championship game? What about you before the season saying that DJ Lagway would win the Heisman Trophy? Mm-hmm. Or after FSU beat Alabama, you couldn't stop singing the praises of Gus Malzahn. No. Okay, you don't get to walk all that back now.
Those are just overreaction predictions.
No, that was real, genuine excitement.
It was excitement for like a week, but that doesn't mean we were back.
Listen to Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, and streaming on the iHeart Radio app.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie, the best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Are you like everybody else in the world who has no idea what to get everyone for the holidays? Well, you're in luck. We got you. Hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with hands-free Skechers slip-ins, you just step into them and they're on. There's no bending down, no touching, no fuss. Plus, Skechers slip-ins come in everyone's favorite styles and colors. And you can get slip-ins everywhere stylish footwear is sold, including a Skechers store. Or if you're too busy to shop in person, just get them online at Skechers.com, Amazon, and more.
Lowe's knows that saving is always top of mind, especially this season. Shop early Black Friday deals like select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at $59.98. Because it's basically Christmas, right? Lowe's, we help you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
Do you own a small business? A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure.
Buccaneers coach Todd Bowles says there's a lot to fix on defense after it was unable to hold on to several leads during yesterday's loss to Buffalo. College basketball rolls on tonight. It'll be UCF hosting Oakland. The Knights going for a third straight win after they beat Texas A&M last week. And Golden State forward Draymond Green, he could be in hot water with the NBA after confronting a courtside fan in New Orleans that happened yesterday. I'm Scott Davidson.
This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
You wouldn't drive a car under the influence, so why would you operate a boat? The FWC wants to remind you that operating a boat while impaired is just as deadly as driving a car and carries the same penalties. Be as safe at sea as you are on land. Visit myfwc.com for more info.
Betting exchanges have become the new craze in sports betting, and there is no one on the internet that does it better than BetterEdge. So transparent, so honest, so user-friendly. BetterEdge gives you that little extra advantage that you need. I've said it many times. I've bet on sports for a while. I did not start making money consistently until I started using BetterEdge. I also share competitions every Friday that we can dive into together as well. My Beat Brandon Challenge. Sign up for the first time, get $20 on the house. Just use the promo code BeatBrandon when you sign up at betteredge.com or on the Better Edge app.
Orlando's new home for Florida State football is AM 810 Fox Sports Radio Orlando. Hear every game live on AM 810 or search Fox Sports Radio Orlando on the free iHeartRadio app. Coaches, players, GMs, everyone's got an opinion these days. Let's hear from the biggest names in the game. It's time for Mic'd Up.
Mic'd Up brought to you by Hard Rock Hotel Daytona Beach, the perfect weekend beach getaway. Not even an hour's drive from downtown Orlando, also right there close to Jacksonville as well. Right now, 20% off room rates for Florida residents, and you get a $50 food and beverage gift card. Make your hotel reservations at hardrockhotels.com/Daytona Beach. All right, let's start mic'd up. Obviously, a lot of Lane Kiffin rumors going on in Oxford, Mississippi over the weekend with the Gators losing to Ole Miss. Ole Miss fans worried that Lane Kiffin's going to take the Florida job. Here was Lane Kiffin when a reporter asked him, hey, are you going to be at Ole Miss next year?
Lane read the story from Ross Dellinger this week that he had that sit down with you, and there was a really striking quote there at the end where you talked about picturing yourself being at the elite blue bloods, but you sort of changed, and you didn't think it was necessarily a place like Ole Miss, but you've sort of changed your way of thinking, and that maybe this is the last chapter. There's a lot of talk about you for coaching searches right now. Do you anticipate being the head coach at Ole Miss next year?
Yeah, I think the last chapter thing makes me feel like I'm like 80 years old, So I don't like being old, so I don't really like that part of the story that makes me feel like I'm on my last chapter. So I love what we're doing here. Today was awesome, and I don't talk about that stuff. And really, to even talk about it right now would be so disrespectful to our players and how well they played today. We got a lot of things going here, doing really well, and I love it here. So
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
It's like a wife going up to her husband, did you cheat on me? How dare you ask me that? Did you? You are rude. At a time like this. What?
Shh, the kids are going to hear us.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And, meanwhile, everywhere I look, and I don't know if this is true, so this could be that clickbait,
right.
Some country gets a penny every time I click on this, that LSU has flown him out, that Florida has flown him out, and that he has met with both of these programs. Again, I don't know if this is true, but it's out there. It is being discussed.
If he's doing that during a national championship run, shame on him.
Well, and maybe this is where, to go back to the Josh Pate comment that turned into a report from Newsweek.
Right.
You can understand where Ole Miss is offended. This isn't UCF getting wind that Scott Frost might be leaving for Nebraska when UCF was a G5 school, and it's like, okay, Nebraska's we can't get in the way of that. Ole Miss does not, I would think that Ole Miss does not view themselves as that far behind Florida and LSU.
Absolutely not.
There's ego there. There's money there. They're in the SEC too. And imagine this were happening at Florida. Florida's making their way to the college football playoff, and he's flirting with the idea of going to Ole Miss. Florida fans and Florida administration would be like, shut that down. We got work to do, buddy.
Right.
So you can understand where there's a little bit of consternation involved.
Speaking of Scott Frost, here was Scott Frost talking about getting outclassed by Texas Tech over the weekend.
It's hard. The one thing that sticks out to me is they just look like they're playing a different speed than us. And part of that is their personnel. Part of it is just we got to keep growing as a team. We got to play with more speed of execution. All week I talked to guys about being fighters and being guys that you want to go to battle with. We got a lot of those guys, and they play hard. They won't quit. We just got to be better, and we got outclassed a little bit today, particularly in the first half.
Translation, $30 million will buy you a lot of speed.
Yeah, we need to play faster. I mean, our players need to be faster.
Yeah, I mean, the Texas Tech was in another league than UCF. Mike McDaniel on the strange decision at the end of regulation. He could have kicked the field goal to go up by 3 with 1:47 left. Instead, he chose to go for it, got stopped, and it almost cost him the game. Listen.
Well, I definitely thought you don't make that decision unless, I thought the play was going to work, and it didn't. But looking at it was about 1:47 or something with no timeouts, a field goal gives them the ball back. Their special teams is very adept at getting the ball between the 30 and 40, which would leave about 25 yards for a tying field goal, as opposed to going 60 yards when they're backed up. And so those are the type of situations that you try to do the best thing with the recourse of failure. And that was an example of defense stepping up. They held when it was most critical.
I don't even know what he's talking about. All right, they could have gone up by 3 points with 1:47 left against the Commanders team that is absolutely horrible right now. Horrible. And luckily for them, the Commanders stopped them, got the ball back, drove down, and attempted a 56-yard field goal that luckily was wide right, or Mike McDaniel's decision would have cost them the game.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad of a call. I don't think I would have made that call against the Commanders because your defense had done a really good job of stifling them throughout the course of the day. So getting 3 points but it's not like you kick the field goal and then they get the ball, they're buried on the 15. These teams are starting so far down the field now because of this dynamic kickoff that going up by 3, I'm going to give myself no time if I get the ball back. That's just if they kick the field goal. What if they burn all of this clock and then they punch it into the end zone and now I lost? I understand the decision making. I don't think it was necessary given the competition that you were facing in that moment. The worst part about it for me was the call itself, the actual play call, not the decision.
What, ollie up the gut?
The Dolphins can't run up the gut. They haven't been able to do that in years. That was a terrible idea. You've got all this speed. You use space. Use your speed. Misdirection. Mr. Motion himself Mike McDaniel.
Ollie up the gut. It worked earlier in the game. Ollie up the gut.
Yeah, it's a 4th and 1. The defense, that's the one thing they're like, we're not getting beat up the middle. And they're just not built that way. They should attempt to build themselves that way, but they're not there yet.
Let's go to Liam Cohen. Actually, let's go to Jim Harbaugh talking about getting totally outclassed by the Jaguars yesterday.
Yeah, every possible phase of the game, including strategy. We got beaten every possible way.
Yeah, you did. Including you got beat by Trevor Lawrence with his new sweatband strategy. Here's Liam Cohen talking about Trevor Lawrence. What do you have? The plays on his sweatband, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I thought it actually really helped us. We did it for not the whole plan and everything. It was some specific stuff that we wanted to maybe play a little bit faster and just have a little bit more tempo in and out of the huddle and just more clarity on some of the things. And I know it definitely helped us for sure. I think today.
Here's my question. Like, that's not something new. Why weren't they doing this before?
Well, I don't know why this stuck in my brain, but Trevor Lawrence has used the armband to call. They have that, the play sheet on there, the play calls. He's been using that his whole career. Liam Cohen took over and took that away from Trevor Lawrence. I think because he was trying to dislodge something in all of this talent that Trevor Lawrence is wasting. And so they went with a different approach. And I think it was either Liam Cohen going, whoops, or Trevor Lawrence going, give me my damn armband back.
I can't remember the plays, okay?
Exactly. Because this isn't new for Trevor. Well, ask me about it tomorrow. I'm almost 100% sure I'm right about this, that he has worn an armband to help him with play calling his whole career. It stopped this year. And then they realized, we gotta help our.
So you
boy
think
out.
Liam Cohen was going, that's a crutch. I'm taking that away from you. You need to remember the play.
Right. Exactly. I think that's exactly what it was. And then he goes, give him the crutch back. It's not abort plan. This is not working. Up next, your texts, your talkbacks. Hit us up. 508-57. We're back in just a few minutes.
Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz. We'll be right back after this.
This time of year is just phenomenal for sports fans. College football's race for a playoff could not be going any better right now. I'm actually warming up a bit to the college football season and the way that things are wrapping up here down the stretch. Every game, every rivalry, every upset matters more than ever. And you can do more than just watch the chaos on Saturdays. You can bet on it. Join Hard Rock Bet today. Bet $5. If it hits, you'll take home $150 in bonus bets on top of your winnings, and that is how you can watch your bankroll build over time. Monday Night Football action tonight. I'm looking at the Trey Tucker market. I think he's going to go off against this bad Dallas Cowboys defense. Trey Ferguson touchdown. Thought about that one as well at plus 125. Hard Rock Bet sits right there on the home screen for me. You can jump in, ride right along. The app is safe, slick, reliable, updated to the second, and payouts are lightning quick. Download the app and let's cash some tickets together. Head to Hard Rock Bet and roll with us. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Orlando, are you ready to rock it? My favorite beach getaway, Hard Rock Hotel Daytona Beach, is calling your name. Not even an hour's drive from downtown Orlando. You'll find modern luxury, legendary Hard Rock vibes, and that endless Florida sunshine. Even in the middle of winter, lounge by the oceanfront pool, grab a bite at their world-famous restaurant, or unwind at the spa. And when the sun sets, enjoy live music under the stars at their beachside band shell. For reservations, go to hardrockhotels.com/Daytona Beach.
This is your Tools Ace Hardware Assist of the night. How good can this magic team be? Well, with a little help from the right people, the sky is the limit for Paolo and company.
Now Paolo on the run out. He'll lay it up and in and one.
If you're gearing up for game day, Tools Ace is your MVP for grilling greatness. From Big Green Egg to Traeger, they've got everything you need to fire up the flavor. With 14 Central Florida locations, including their brand new store in Windermere, Tools Ace is your neighborhood home maintenance expert, the helpful place every night and your best stop before the game. ToolsAceHardware.com and go Magic.
But left wing, free ball up. That's it. That ball's snapping around. This team is hard to beat.
Traffic's backed up on I-4 eastbound before you head over St. John's River Bridge. It's stop and go. Heading through the city near that 408 interchange. It's bumper to bumper southbound on Florida's Turnpike southbound before Osceola Parkway. The roadways are busy this afternoon, so travel with caution. See traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
Christmas music playing right now on Magic 107.7.
Feliz Navidad.
Magic 107.7.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Orlando's Christmas station.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. New at Lowe's, ProBlock Quick Dry Primer. Expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast, lock stains, and go on smooth for virtually flawless results. Available now in oil and water-based. Grab yours today at Lowe's.
Crossing the finish line, nothing like it. But for the accident attorneys at Farah & Farah, one thrill beats them all.
It's the thrill of the win. Lining up all the facts so the truth is clear. Yeah, we're built for that.
Farah & Farah, Orlando.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
As our area continues to grow, more and more national chain stores are moving in, and that includes big box jewelry retailers who claim to be direct importers.
You're going to hear from people that come into the markets that we're in, and they're going to claim to be direct diamond importer. What's new about that? I've been doing that for over 40 years.
That's Florida's original Keith LeClaire, owner of International Diamond Center, who says the corporate jewelers are mostly owned by the same Wall Street conglomerate, just with different names.
Some have become where they have 9, 10 different brands. They're owned by Wall Street. They answer to Wall Street.
But at locally owned IDC,
we don't answer to anybody but our customers.
At IDC, you don't deal with retail clerks. You work with true diamond professionals who are focused on you, not some corporate sales quota.
We guide them through it, protect them. We want them to come back.
And bottom line, Keith guarantees to beat any diamond at any price that you find at any corporate store, any day of the week.
You cannot get any closer to the source than IDC.
International Diamond Center, your true direct diamond importer for 4 decades. Altamont Springs, Waterford Lakes, and Mall at Millennium.
Follow the game on Facebook at 96.9 The Game. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Isn't it nice to know at least one of your streaming apps is completely free?
Yeah, you get the iHeartRadio app without the pesky monthly fee.
Live radio, playlists for everything, and the most podcasts on the planet.
Join the millions who already have it. iHeartRadio, the #1 app for radio.
Catch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all season long on Real Radio 104.1 and the free iHeartRadio app sponsored by First Horizon Bank.
Do you own a small business? A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Game on with Bianchi and Kravitz.
Your stupid, overreactive argument that Travis Hunter got hurt because he's trying to play both ways. That's the most idiotic, overreactive stance I've ever heard. It was on the debate shows yesterday. Just what you just said. What did they expect? You can't play both ways in the NFL. That's a bunch of garbage. He was hurt in a non-contact injury during practice. It wasn't that his body broke down and that's why he was coming off his best game. He was getting better, not worse.
Listen to Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando.
Touchdown! What a catch!
The UCF Knights are heard here. Now back to Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz.
The giant slalom. Thank you, Jaden. It says here in the notes, it says present from Jaden. Jaden Grimes, couple of days off for the prodigy of production. Bianchi, me, Brandon Kravitz, we still have you covered throughout the course of the afternoon. We've got Bet It or Forget It coming up in just a couple of minutes. Curious to see what Bianchi throws my way there. Mike, I do not have the text line in front of my face at the moment. What are the people saying?
Let me see what the text line is saying right here. I'll call it up and give you a few texts as I'm doing this.
We have way too many computers in front of our faces.
Yeah. Okay, text line. Here we go.
Well, I did not think it would take
If the Magic's loss to the Rockets is a moral victory, why did you not describe UCF's 3-point loss to a previously ranked Houston team as a moral victory? UCF had several players out due to injury. Why are you comparing teams?
I feel like this is the same person that wanted us to do this last week with the Scott Frost, Jamal Mosley thing.
Oh yeah.
I would be willing to lay a wager on that. This is the same person that is trying. They are trying to play the gotcha texter, and for whatever reason, these two teams are not on. They're not on similar planes right now with where they are at.
No. Bianchi, when you write a column, I would like to read, cheap plug, the Orlando Sentinel freezes the page and wants my monetary info. Oh, and the dollar. Yeah, you can get a digital subscription for pennies a day. Pennies a day.
Yeah, and at least not everybody wants to pay for that, and that's fine, but at least what Mike and his colleagues are putting out there is legitimate.
Yeah, it's not like, we're actually at events talking to people. We're not just sitting in our basement blogging about,
trying to send pennies to Sweden or whatever these people are doing.
I mean, you have a digital subscription. What do you pay, Kravitz?
I paid for the year. It was like $60 for the year.
$60.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
That way when I click on these stories, I don't get stonewalled and for firewall. Is that what it is? Either way.
Yeah, the firewall.
All right, we're back in 60 seconds.
Paywall.
That's one.
Bianchi and Kravitz is back. Time to see if they're ready to put their money where their mouth is. Let's get into another round of Bet It or Forget It.
Better to Forget It, brought to you by the leader in peer-to-peer betting across the globe. It's Better Edge. If you're tired of trying to take on the house, bet against your peers instead. Introducing Better Edge, the sports betting exchange that lets you set the odds, you challenge your friends, and you cash in when you are right. Use the promo code BeatBrandon and sign up for $20 upon your first arrival, or go to the app as well. Download that, betteredge.com. Somebody said on the text line, it's not the same texter. I'm a different person who submitted that last week. I definitely see your side, and I do not think that last week's loss was a moral victory. If anything, I think it was a blow to the team because now they will not make a bowl game. So another wager lost for me. I would have laid at least $15 to $20 on that. That was the same person from last week when they were trying to compare Scott Frost to Jamal Mosley.
I am my own person. I am a man.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different sports. It's two very different seasons. You know, one of the reasons why you can pick up moral victories in the NBA is because the season's so damn long. It's harder to do that in college football. It's harder to have any week where you feel at the end of it like a loss was a moral victory because of how short the season is.
Yeah.
Wins and losses just mean singular wins and singular losses mean a lot more in college than they do in the NBA.
Yeah. When a single game in the NBA, no matter who you're playing, I mean, hell, the Magic could have lost to the Brooklyn Nets the other night. That's how the NBA is. You can lose to really bad teams. All right. And the Magic aren't a great team right now. There's no question about that. They're still a work in progress. No question. So.
My ability to find the buttons for this upcoming segment, this is going to be a mystery for all of us. So let's see how this goes. It's time to kick it to myself to play the music. And now we kick it over to the Bulldog.
It is time for the critically acclaimed, wildly popular game show, Bet It or Forget It. Let's start with Josh Allen scoring 6 touchdowns, or accounting for 3 touchdowns. 3 on the ground, 3 through the air, in the 44-32 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was Tampa Bay's 3rd loss in their last 4 games. They're only a half game up in the standings on the Carolina Panthers. Bet it or forget it. The Bucs better be worried, very worried, about the Panthers catching them in the NFC South.
Yeah, bet it. They're a half game back as it stands right now, and they've been playing some pretty good football about every other week. And the Bucs right now, they've just lost all of their momentum. You know, even Emeka Egbuka, who's out there, he's playing. He doesn't look as dominant as he did at the start of the season. Remember, I said that I think he's a top 15 wide receiver right now. Well, he hasn't been playing like it, so he's slipped back down to earth. And Mike Evans is out until who knows when. Chris Godwin feels like he's never going to come back. They did find a ground game, which is exciting for Tampa. Without Bucky Irving, Sean Tucker looked like an absolute monster against the Buffalo Bills. But still, Carolina, they're pesky, and I do think that there should be at least some concern because it doesn't feel like the gap between them, the Bucs and Carolina, is that wide.
The Miami Hurricanes roll past North Carolina State 41-7. Miami now has 5 wins by at least 25 points this season. Bet it or forget it. Miami will still miss the college football playoff because Florida and Florida State are bad this year, and Miami's victories over their 2 state rivals actually hurt their strength of schedule.
Yeah, I would say bet it on that. I think they're going to be left out in the cold. There's too many teams from stronger conferences that sit above them right now. And while Miami sits at 14th in the AP poll, you have to remember that one of those G5 teams is going to end up jumping, so that pushes them down another spot because you have the highest ranked team from that realm of college football. But between BYU, Vandy, Utah, Alabama now, that just their overall strength of schedule is going to be better than what the Miami Hurricanes
But just think if Florida and Florida State were good and they beat them, then their strength of schedule would be good.
Well, exactly. And really, what does Miami have? They have They have the win over Notre Dame. What else do you look at on their schedule and say, wow, that really blows you away?
Well, they have Pitt coming up, but Pitt got blown out by Notre Dame on Saturday. Yeah, they don't have
the USF lost, so that win got even weaker. It's and then you go back to the Notre Dame game. It was just a 3-point win, so it's not even like you can go, oh, yeah, but we blew them out. So that's a very impressive win, but it was early in the season. It was a close game. There's just not enough there to make a great case for Miami.
Ole Miss beats Florida 34-24, and after the game, Lane Kiffin sidestepped questions about whether he will be Ole Miss's coach next season. Bet it or forget it. If Kiffin doesn't commit to Ole Miss before the playoff starts, the Rebels should fire him and let an interim coach the team.
All right, Josh Pate.
Hey.
No, forget it. Could you imagine if in his mind he's like, I'm just going to play this game. I'm going to play the will I, won't I game, and then eventually land on the fact that I want to stay. And in the back of his head, he knows that, but he wants to explore all options. It's nice to feel wanted. It's nice to be able to go back to your current administration and say, you should probably pay me a few more bucks because, Al and Eddie over here want me at LSU in Florida.
Here's a question for you. All right. If there was an ultimatum, you either coach this team in the playoff with a chance to win the national title or leave. If you're and we'll match your Florida salary. All right. If you're Lane Kiffin, do you just give up a chance at coaching a national team?
Hell no. Hell no. I feel like this is one of my biggest issues with the coaching profession right now is that, and fans are as much a problem, if not more. There's so much focus on what's next that coaches lose sight of what is in front of them. You have spent your life, you have certainly spent this season trying to get to this point, and then at the end of the year, the focus shifts to, well, what's my next job look like? And I think it's such a disservice not only to the student athletes, to your fans, it's a disservice to yourself. Lane Kiffin has done an incredible job this year, and he's not the only person that is doing this. This happens all the time. Scott Frost did it at UCF. You create this magical moment for your program and for yourself.
Except Scott Frost stayed and won the game.
Yeah, but he had one eye on the future towards the end of the season. Rather than saying, I'm going to legitimately shut all of that down. I will not talk about it. I will not talk to anybody else about it until after the job is complete here. And if that's not something that you respect, then I don't want to work for your program.
FSU blows out Virginia Tech 34-14. Bet it or forget it. If the Seminoles, who were 2-10 last year, close out the season with 2 wins over NC State and Florida to finish 7-5, FSU fans should look at this season as a success.
Yeah, success is a little strong too.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'll say bet it. It's a tepid bet it. It's a light bet, but it's a bet on that just because if you told FSU fans at the start of the year, I'm going to guarantee you a 7-5 season after what they experienced the year prior, I think you'd have to accept it. You wouldn't be excited about it. You wouldn't feel ecstatic was the word you used earlier in the show.
I didn't say that. I just said considered a success.
Is good enough a success? There's a moral question for you. That's a philosophical question. Because I think 7-5 is good enough, but good enough and success are not always
synonymous.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I found the button, by the way. I got it. Day late and a dollar short, huh?
All right, last 2 more. UCF gets clobbered by Texas Tech. Afterwards, Scott Frost said, hey, we got outclassed a little bit. Bet it or forget it. By saying UCF got outclassed, Frost is actually saying until we get a multi-billionaire booster buying us talent, we'll never be able to compete with the big spenders.
Bet it. I think Scott Frost realizes we are living on different planets right now than where Texas Tech is. Texas Tech financially is being treated like it's Ohio State, Michigan, LSU, and UCF is still operating like they're UCF, which used to be good enough. It used to be good enough to be competitive, even against teams like that, to just stand up against them. And it's just not anymore. It's not good enough. And Scott Frost knows they're going to have to dig their hands deep into somebody's very
Deep
wealthy,
into their couch cushions,
wealthy pockets.
Hey,
There's
there's
got to be somebody. What about the guy that owns the UFL? When you dig into his pockets, I know there are billionaires that graduated from the school that I went to. And by the way, UCF,
He didn't graduate from UCF.
don't come calling me, okay? Don't come calling Brandon Kravitz. I cannot be your savior, but I wish you the best of luck.
All right, final ones. My Jaguars blow out the Chargers a week after blowing that 19-point fourth quarter lead. The Jags have 2 more losses in the division than the Colts, but the Jags take on the Cardinals next week. The Colts take on the Chiefs. Bet it or forget it. Not only can the Jags still win this division, they will win this division.
Okay, calm down. Calm down, old man. No, forget it. The Colts have put themselves in such a phenomenal position, and let's not forget that this team is legitimately good. This is not a complete fluke, even though we're all waiting for the mountain to crumble here on old Danny Dimes. They have a decent enough defense. Jonathan Taylor's a legitimate MVP candidate. They can run it down anybody's throat. And who's to say that playing Kansas City just means you're automatically going to lose these days?
Good point.
Ask Bo Nix how he feels about that. So, no, I'm not with that.
And that is bet it or forget it.
Coming up next, round 2 of Champs or Chumps right here on Game On.
Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz.
Every great team wants home field advantage, and that's exactly what you get with Renewal by Anderson. Because in Florida, the opponents are brutal. Scorching heat, heavy humidity, and storms that hit harder than a blitzing linebacker. You need windows that can play through all 4 quarters of Florida weather. Renewal by Anderson's Fibrex material is twice as strong as vinyl, built to resist cracking, warping, or fading even under the relentless sun. These acclaimed impact windows give your home the strength, the beauty, and the energy efficiency it deserves. You'll stay cooler, quieter, and safer year after year after year. And right now, you can score big during their Black Friday sales event. Get 20% off all replacement windows and patio doors, plus 0 down and 0 payments until 2027. Take it from me, Mike Bianchi. Whether you're in Central Florida, the Gulf Coast, or Jacksonville, protect your home turf with Renewal by Anderson, America's most trusted name in windows and doors. Go to bestwindowsflorida.com today. That's bestwindowsflorida.com. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
I've been telling you guys about Kevin Krager with LPT Realty, one of the top 25 producing agents in Central Florida. My guy is money, and he joins me now to chat about the latest in real estate. What's the one piece of advice that you would give to first-time home buyers?
Interview agents and ask important questions. Ask what's important to that agent. Make sure that agent is listening to you and understands what it is that you need when you're buying a house. There's hundreds of thousands of agents across this country, and a lot of people can buy and sell real estate, but to protect what you're doing, you need to make sure that agent is really connecting with you, really listening to you, and has your best interest at heart. It's not just a paycheck for me. It's not just a paycheck for a lot of agents, but I want a long-lasting relationship. I'm going to give loyalty to you. And then I also would say, as a home buyer, giving loyalty back to that agent, because at some point you're going to want to sell that house.
Trust and loyalty. You can count on Kevin for that. He'll move you right along through the real estate buying and selling process. 407-702-4635.
Traffic's crawling on I-4 eastbound, approaching St. John's River Bridge. It's stop and go, getting through the city near that 408 interchange, and heavy congestion through that World Drive area on Florida's Turnpike. It's bumper to bumper southbound before Osceola Parkway, and there's a crash cleared up on US 192 near Florida's Turnpike to look out for. See traffic troubles? Call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. With new arrivals every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. Don't wait. Find a location at macysbackstage.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Miss us while we're gone? Download the Game On podcast on iHeartRadio and take us with you wherever and whenever you want. It's all of Bianchi and I's wildest takes on demand on the daily. And while you're at it, make us your number one preset as well. Just search Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz, the state of Florida's premier sports talk radio show. Now back to these ads.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to 40% off, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select innovative appliances like GE Profile. Add a touch of ease to your holiday with the all-in-one combo to wash and dry your laundry in one machine. And refrigerators with built-in convenient features like the dual dispense autofill water pitcher. Shop Black Friday savings on select GE Profile appliances, plus get free delivery now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid 11/5 through 12/3. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
Protect your home with Reese Windows and Doors. Trusted for over 50 years to deliver the highest quality factory direct impact windows available, with most installs done in under 8 weeks. And now the giveaway is bigger than ever. Win $25,000 in brand new windows absolutely free. Just text WOW to 20129. Already entered? Then you're automatically eligible to win $25,000 in windows. Don't wait. Text WOW to 20129.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. In Office Orlando.
Guys, don't propose with a ring that she didn't pick out. Trust us, she already has a ring in mind. So engage with Gage Diamonds, in person or online, where Gage's skilled ring designers will work with her to create the perfect setting, matched with the perfect stone. Gage specializes in exquisite lab-grown diamonds. Financing available. GageDiamonds.com, where engagement's middle name.
Roofers don't always have the best reputation, so when I found one that had credibility to their name, wow, what a relief. I'm talking Eustace Roofing. Whether it's a quick repair from storm damage or a full roof replacement, Eustace Roofing can help. They tailor roofing solutions to your home. They don't just lay shingles and leave. They are detail-oriented and customer-first always. Mention my name, Brandon Kravitz, when you call, and head to eustaceroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. The real roofers, real craftsmen, real professionals, real experts. Visit them online. It's eustaceroofing.com.
Hey, it's Ed Helms, host of Snafu, my podcast about history's greatest screw-ups. On our new season, we're bringing you a new snafu every single episode.
32 lost nuclear weapons? You're like, wait, stop? What?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of history, a whole lot of funny, and a whole lot of fabulous guests. Paul Scheer, Angela and Jenna, Nick Kroll, Jordan Klepper. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Snafu with Ed Helms, and listen now.
Embers Only is brought to you by Corona Cigar Company. coronacigar.com.
I don't know about you, but I can't stand when I see creepy crawlies all over my house. That's why I have to have a pest control provider that doesn't just treat the pest problem, they solve it. You can keep your home protected from the bugs all year long. Get yourself a termite bond while you're at it. Tell them that Brandon Kravitz and Mike Bianchi from Game On sent you by. Get 10% off of your initial service. Burn Pest is a family-run operation right here in our backyard in Central Florida. Go and find them online easily, and don't stress about these pests anymore. It's burnpests.com.
Do you own a small business? A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure.
We are Orlando's sports leader, broadcasting live from the FM 96.9 The Game studio. Brought to you by the Nickley Group, Orlando's home team, doing real estate differently. TheNickleyGroup.com. The Miami Dolphins play here. Catch every game right here on 96.9 The Game, AM 740, and the iHeartRadio app. No filters, no favorites, just facts. Let's find out who showed up and who showed out. It's time for Champ or Chump.
Champs and Chumps brought to you by Wing House. Mondays don't have to be boring. You can start your week out right. $1 wings bursting with flavor, $3 margaritas that hit just right. Whether you're easing into the work week or catching up with some friends, Wing House has the perfect combo to make your Monday your new favorite day. If you're in Central Florida, we got 3 locations for you. Wing House, good food, beautifully served. We are emptying the tank here, Mike, and I believe that you and I deserve a champ before we hand them out, because our picks were white hot this weekend. I went 5-1 in the Yingling 6-pack. You went 4-2. Not bad. So even in a 5-1 week, I still can't gain ground on you because you won't cool off. Your free money, free stuff pick hit the Jaguars +3. My Uncle Paulie bet with the Florida State Seminoles came through, baby. And the locks went 3-2. So Paulie, free money, Yingling 6-pack, Stone Cold locks. We were hot across the board.
Nice.
That right there is how you bring the listeners some cheddar, Mikey. Now, what else do you have?
I want to give a chump. Okay, so Dylan Gabriel got concussed for the Cleveland Browns yesterday. And Shedeur Sanders came into the game and promptly completed 4 of 16 passes with an interception. All right.
Those are a rough spot for him.
Okay, I understand. But I want you to listen to the announcers when Shedeur Sanders is coming into the game. Listen.
And ladies and gentlemen, Shedeur Sanders is at quarterback. And listen to the crowd. Buckle up, everybody. The offensive line calling for quiet here as this crowd welcomes Shedeur Sanders to the field for the very first time in his rookie season. People racing back to their seats. Here we go. Browns will open from the 25 out of the shotgun. Quinshon is the back. 3 to the right. Fannin motions into a wing right. Sanders waiting for it. His first NFL snap. Roll out to the right on a play fake. Throw right, caught by Tillman at the 29 and run out of bounds by Wiggins.
Crowd reacting like he just threw the ball 95 yards to Cedric Tillman, going absolutely bonkers.
We can hear it. They're not reacting like that. They're not reacting like that. Fans are racing to their seats. Do you think the Browns fans are racing to their seats? I know. Okay? That's like made up excitement, is it not?
I mean, he was there. We weren't. I'm going to defer to the play-by-play guy, I guess.
You could hear the crowd, right? At the end.
And ladies and gentlemen, Shedeur Sanders is at quarterback. And listen to the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, they sound pretty loud.
Okay, but the end where he says, what did he say at the very end there? I mean, they reacted as if he just threw a 95-yard touch. No, they didn't.
I think they had that one in the chamber all season. They were ready. They were ready for the Shedeur Sanders debut. They knew it was going to come at some point. And
how about a champ for Texas A&M?
Or a chump for South Carolina.
Or a chump for South Carolina. But man, what a game. 27 points down, the biggest comeback in SEC history.
I'm watching this game going, how in the world is South Carolina 3-6? I know Lenora Sellers has dealt with some injuries, but this team is so good. They were flying around on defense, running it down their throat. And then I watched the second half and went, oh, that's why they're 3-6.
So Marcel Reed had 439 yards passing. He's got to be on the Heisman list, doesn't he?
Well, is a newly minted Heisman voter.
Yeah.
I will tell you
Yeah.
that he is on the short list.
He's got to be.
Has been all year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, love the dual threat ability. He's right there. I mean, Fernando Mendoza is rightfully running away with it right now, and he had another great weekend.
Right.
But Marcel Reed, it put him in a bit of a hole. He did not have a good first half. He was part of the problem.
Yeah.
But able to dig them back out of it. So, if we're talking about top 5, he's certainly within that range.
Also, I realize at the end of the game, Jameis did what Jameis does. He threw the crucial interception in the end zone.
I mean, you knew it was coming.
Yeah,
right?
Here it is.
It is third down, New York, 6 yards to go. In the shotgun, Winston looks it over. Here's the snap. Winston sets, throws, left side of the end zone. Intercepted! Intercepted by the kid! Oh, Evan Williams delivers in the left corner of the end zone. And the Packers deliver the dagger.
Packers hold on. I don't care. I'm giving Jameis Winston the champ because he makes it entertaining.
That's right. And he covered the spread for the Giants.
Good Lord. He's fun to watch, you have to admit.
Yeah, he is. And guys play hard around him. He has a magnetic charisma about him that it's infectious. And I think guys, you have to be able to go out there. The game is really hard. The preparation is really hard. The competition is as good as it gets. You have to be able to have fun. And if you're on the Giants, how are you still having fun doing this with everything that's falling apart around you and you're not winning games and your quarterback's hurt? Jameis is how. That's why you can't have Russell Wilson out there.
Right.
The season's bad enough. The last thing you need is some fake rah-rah guy in the huddle. You have Jameis who's out there. He's probably singing while he's calling plays.
Plus, the Packers are like, did you say this on Friday? The Packers are like, oh no, we got to face Jameis?
Yes. Mike, the point spread backed that up. The Packers at the beginning of the week were 8-point favorites. Then Jameis was announced the starter. They closed as 7-point favorites. So the market told you, it's Jameis Winston. And
he might win the game. He might lose the game.
I mean, he's not going to play with fear. And a lot of backups come in. And he's got talent. Let's not forget, this guy was drafted number 1 overall, so it's not like he doesn't have the requisite talent to be a player that on the right day can beat anybody, and he's not scared. He will make the throws that other guys are not willing to make.
Right.
As far as one more for the road, Arch Manning, big chump for me over the weekend. I thought Texas was finally going to put these frauds to bed. I'm not a believer in the Georgia Bulldogs this year. And either I continue to be proven wrong on that, or you just got to drop the name already. Okay. I'm tired of seeing the name Manning on your back when you can't even complete 5-yard passes.
Gunnar Stockton's like, Arch who? I'm the sheriff in town. Okay.
Yeah. Another great last name. 2 great last names, historically great passers, Stockton versus Manning over the weekend. Didn't even think about that until right now. What a blown opportunity. Mike Huguenin, college football guru. He's on deck. He's going to join us as we rattle through another wild weekend in the world of college football. Some shakeups in the top 25 as well. Don't go anywhere.
Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz.
When you hit your late 30s, 40s, 50s, something changes. You start waking up tired. You can't focus like you used to. The workouts at the gym get harder and the belly, it gets a little flabbier. I know, I've been there. Then I went to Florida Center for Hormones and Wellness, and that's when things turned around. Dr. John Carazella, I saw him today. This guy's no lightweight. Yale honors grad, former orthopedic surgeon for 25 years. He knows how to rebuild a man's engine. He gets bioidentical hormone therapy, meaning the hormones are identical to what your body makes, not this synthetic junk you see out there. They checked everything when I went in for my consultation: testosterone, thyroid, adrenal levels, built a precise plan to get me balanced. Within weeks, I felt like a new man. Energy, focus, sex drive, even my sleep, all back. Guys, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about getting back to feeling your best. Don't settle for some pop-up tea clinic. Go to the real pros. Visit hormonesandwellness.com, hormonesandwellness.com. Tell them Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog, sent you.
I don't know about you, but I can't stand when I see creepy crawlies all over my house. That's why I have to have a pest control provider that doesn't just treat the pest problem, they solve it. You can keep your home protected from the bugs all year long. Get yourself a termite bond while you're at it. Tell them that Brandon Kravitz and Mike Bianchi from Game On sent you by. Get 10% off of your initial service. Burn Pest is a family-run operation right here in our backyard in Central Florida. Go and find them online easily, and don't stress about these pests anymore. It's burnpests.com.
Are you like everybody else in the world who has no idea what to get everyone for the holidays? Well, you're in luck. We got you. Hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with hands-free Skechers slip-ins, you just step into them and they're on. There's no bending down, no touching, no fuss. Plus, Skechers slip-ins come in everyone's favorite styles and colors. And you can get slip-ins everywhere stylish footwear is sold, including a Skechers store. Or if you're too busy to shop in person, just get them online at Skechers.com, Amazon, and more.
This is the Beat of Sports.
Take any of these big jobs, Penn State, LSU, Florida, Auburn, and say, who do you want? And then doesn't availability come into play? Because the portal is open January 2nd to January 16th. Can you wait? If Ole Miss is not a top 4 seed and they're playing in the first round and you think they're going to win, he's got a game either on December 31st or January 1st. Can you envision Lane Kiffin leaving his team before a quarterfinal game? No. So it's almost like, who blinks first in all these jobs and goes, I'm not waiting? Like, ideally, if you're Penn State, don't you want your coach as quick as possible to evaluate the roster, to be busy as soon as you can, so that when it officially opens, that you're ready to go? And the same thing goes to Florida. We're all in on Lane. Okay, how long do you wait?
The Beat of Sports with Mark Daniels. Weekday mornings following the bridge at 9:30 on FM 96.9 The Game, Orlando's sports leader.
Mark Daniels for International Diamond Center. Nobody knows diamonds like International Diamond Center, and nobody prices diamonds more fairly than IDC. Now, that includes lab-grown diamonds. If you're considering a lab-grown diamond, IDC has made arrangements with a wholesaler so they can save you thousands. The fact is, a lot of lab-grown diamonds being sold online and through other retailers are grossly overpriced with markups as much as 800%. The folks at IDC prefer natural diamonds, but they got tired of seeing lab-grown buyers being taken advantage of, so they found a way to offer a much less expensive lab-grown option. If you're thinking about a lab-grown diamond, see what IDC can do for you with their wholesaler connection. Another example of how IDC is revolutionizing retail jewelry with more transparency, honest pricing, and a long-term vision. Don't buy a diamond from any place else. It's our friends at IDC. Shop at IDC, International Diamond Center, Audubon Springs, Waterford Lakes, and Mall at Millennia.
Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz.
Ice Cube is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I'm curious. I was reading some stuff on you, and it says even when you were pursuing your music career, you still attended a college and got an architectural drafting degree or something.
Definitely not a degree. It's more like a certificate.
Okay,
but I did complete the course.
But it was just sort of your fallback.
It was my fallback, man. You know, we
How
was doing
important is that for young
some
people?
dirty rhymes. You know, they was hardcore. We didn't know anybody was going to hear that outside of our neighborhood. So I had to have something to fall back on.
Do you tell kids today to have a fallback plan?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Nothing stands without a plan. So you
Quote of the
can't.
day.
Yeah, you
Boom.
can't. Yeah, that's a bar.
Listen to Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, and streaming on the iHeart Radio app.
Orlando Magic basketball lives here on 96.9 The Game, and your Game Day Magic coverage is powered by IBEW Local 606. Proud to serve electrical workers across Central Florida, providing its members with a supportive community, training, valuable benefits, and advancement opportunities. IBEW Local 606 has been powering and serving Central Florida for over 75 years, and they are the dream team for electrical workers across this area. For more info, head to IBEWLocal606.org and go Magic.
The mix of salty sea air and burnt rubber. The big skies, high banks, and grandstands. The rumble in your chest. That's what we love about the Daytona 500. Honoring history and making it. At the biggest race of the year on the biggest stage of a lifetime. The Daytona 500. You got to see it to believe it. February 15th, 2026. Secure your experience now at Daytona500.com.
This is Matt Rogers from Las Culturistas with Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang. Get ready for your next TV obsession. All's Fair. Starring Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash-Betts, Teyana Taylor, with Sarah Paulson and Glenn Close. A team of fierce female divorce attorneys leave a male-dominated firm to start their own. Filled with scandalous secrets and shifting allegiances, both in the courtroom and within their own ranks, these ladies know that lawyers are a girl's best friend. Don't miss All's Fair, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Welcome to Embers Only on iHeartRadio Orlando, brought to you by Corona Cigar Company. Step inside the luxury cigar lifestyle with our Cigar of the Week. And this week's cigar is legendary over at Corona. It's the Corona Nicaraguan Anniversary Candela Double Corona. It's a lot, and it is a big cigar. They introduced this thing about 15 years ago. Since then, it's become one of their most popular and best-selling house brands. Actually, they have a hard time keeping this thing in stock, so grab it now. And at this price, really a no-brainer. What you have here is Nicaraguan through and through with a variety of wrappers. Just really great construction. A little medium to strong when it comes to flavor. Beautiful, rich tobacco all the way through. An absolute steal at this price. Only $79.95 a box. That's 38% off retail. So grab it today. It's the Corona Nicaraguan Anniversary Candela Double Corona, and it is your cigar of the week. Thanks so much for joining us for Embers Only. Luxury cigar lifestyle, fine spirits, and relaxation await at your nearest Corona Cigar. Downtown, Heathrow, Sand Lake, Sarasota, Tampa, and always online at coronacigar.com.
Oh, it's all about the sunshine and the beautiful weather for the rest of this week, the entire week. Waking up to temps each day around 60, some patchy fog possible, then highs in the low 80s and bright sunshine, just a few high clouds from time to time. No rate of the forecast, a really magical week around Central Florida with picture-perfect weather. If you live here, you scored. If you're traveling, you definitely won the weather lotto. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner.
The UCF Knights play here. Catch every game right here on 96.9 The Game, AM 740, and the iHeartRadio app.
When our town craves compelling and accurate college football coverage, do they listen to us? Of course they do.
He's good! Touchdown!
This is College Knowledge with the college football guru, Mike Huguenin.
Nobody knows more college football than the guru himself. He is the encyclopedia of college football, Mike Huguenin. Mike, a lot to talk about from the weekend. Let's start with Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin sort of sidestepping the questions about whether he will be the coach at Ole Miss next year. Said it was disrespectful to even talk about it right now. A lot of people think it's a done deal, Mike. Where are you leaning with the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes?
Yeah, I don't think he's back in Oxford. All sorts of reports that, family members were in Gainesville yesterday, family members in Baton Rouge today. While some of the reports that were cited yesterday were from legitimate sources, in terms of media sources, you still wonder if any of that's true. But again, I think the bottom line for me is if Lane Kiffin were going to stay at Ole Miss, he already would have signed the extension. Then he could say, we're done talking about this. We're going to the playoff. I'm coaching here for the foreseeable future. He has not done that. I think part of him relishes the attention he's getting. But ultimately, I think if he were going to stay at Ole Miss, he would have signed the extension already.
Okay, speaking of the playoff, Miami wins big over the weekend against NC State. Good win. NC State had won a couple of games over the last couple of weeks. But Miami, they're still on the outside looking in going into the playoffs. I wonder how much Florida and Florida State both being mediocre to bad has hurt Miami's chances.
No, I think there's no question. But the key to remember is Miami's lost 2 ACC games. That they're right now, if the season ended today, they wouldn't even be in the ACC title game.
Right.
And the highest ranked conference champs. So technically, Miami could be 8th in the college football playoff rankings. They have to get in as an at-large. They're not going to be ranked that high. They blew it themselves. The crystal ball effect is real. Miami has the best roster in the league and may not even play in the conference title game.
So you don't think that you don't think they'll get an at-large if they don't make the conference championship game?
No, I think they're going to be too far down in the standings. So I will say it's interesting. I think it was in last week's rankings, they were 6 spots behind a Notre Dame team that they beat head-to-head. I think that's because Notre Dame had better losses than Miami did.
Right.
Miami lost 2 ACC games, and Notre Dame lost to Miami and to Texas A&M. I think the ACC is viewed as a one-bid league, and because Miami is not going to be the conference champ, it's not going to get in.
Talking to the college football guru, Mike Huguenin, for some reason, Bianchi bestowed upon me a Heisman vote, so I'm keenly aware of the race that is going on. I want to make sure that my first vote is a prestigious and correct one. I don't understand the love for Julian Sayin at Ohio State. Sure, the numbers look good. They have played cupcakes in the Big Ten all year, and then even going back to that first game against Texas where he was all right, Texas hasn't proven to be the team that we thought they were going to be. Is this just Heisman laziness in putting it's the Ohio State quarterback, then they're the number one team in the country? Or am I missing something on Julian Sayin as being one of those top guys in the nation?
Jeremiah Smith's the best player on the Ohio State offense. Caleb Downs, the best player on the Ohio State defense. I'd vote both of those guys before I'd vote Sayin. And you're right, Sayin is getting a lot of love. Look at those numbers are really good. The team's unbeaten. They're number one. And, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. Whoever's number one or number two with a good quarterback, well, that quarterback has to be a Heisman finalist. In Fernando Mendoza's case, I think you can make the case that he deserves it because I think if you take Mendoza off of Indiana, let's do it this way. If you take Sayin off Ohio State, assuming the next guy isn't totally clueless, they'd be unbeaten. You take Mendoza off Indiana, I think they have at least one loss, maybe 2. So I think Mendoza is more important to Ohio State than Sayin is. I'm not saying Sayin's a bad quarterback. I'm just saying that he's got a lot to work with, and he's not even the best player on his own offense.
Texas Tech absolutely demolished UCF, stole their spirit in the process. I've been watching this team closely all year. To me, they look like a legitimate national championship contender. Am I getting lost in the Big 12 shuffle here in overhyping them? I mean, the money would back it up. The eye test backs it up. Do you think that they are a legitimate threat to the crown of a national championship?
Yeah, I think they can win 1 or maybe 2 games in the playoff. I don't think they can win it all because I do have questions about Aaron Morton. I don't know if he's truly an elite quarterback or even a title-winning quarterback, national title-winning quarterback. Their defense, I mean, this is a school that, they make no bones about it. They're in your face. We spent money. I think I've used the illusion before with an A that, they're like the 6-year-old kid you give a really cool Christmas present to, and he makes sure to show all the other 6-year-old kids that his present is better than theirs by shoving it in their face for 3 weeks. And Texas Tech, to me, is like that with its NIL money. Look what we bought. Look what we bought. Look what we bought. Like, oh, my God, I'm sick of that. But you look at what they've bought, and they bought a pretty darn good team. The defensive line is excellent. Jacob Rodriguez is a bad dude at linebacker. The secondary is good. They got a good offensive line, a nice running back core. If you get them in the first round and they're playing at home, I don't think they're going to lose I don't think they would lose the first round game at home. If it's on the road, it's a little bit different. Part of it is just, actually getting to Lubbock. I've said before, to get to Lubbock, you go to hell and turn right. That's a tough place to play. The fans are rabid. And that's a well-coached team, especially defensively. But I don't think they can win a national title, but I think they can win at least one and maybe two games in the playoff.
I'm pretty sure this next answer is going to be yes, but I'm just doing my due diligence here. USF lost to Navy. Their season, as far as a college football playoff berth, is over, correct?
Yeah, I don't understand how their defense has been, I would say, relatively solid all season. It's like they played Navy and were stunned that the offense Navy was running. Mind blowing. And I will say this: the Navy's backup quarterback, the kid who ran for 2 touchdowns, is from Lake Brantley High School. And I'll be honest, I saw him play in high school because that's where my daughter went. At no point did I ever say Braxton Woodson's a Division I player. So I was wrong on that. But then they ran all over USF, and I don't know why USF seemed surprised that they were running the ball, but they sure as heck seemed to be surprised.
Mike, what about Texas A&M and that rally? My God.
Yeah, mind-blowing. But the flip side, you're up 30-3 and you lose, and I think I don't think anybody was really surprised that South Carolina gagged it away. Marcel Reed in the first half, you're watching that going, who thinks this guy can play? Oh, my God. And in the second half, this guy's the best quarterback I've ever seen in my life. He could not miss. That was a phenomenal comeback by A&M. They obviously extremely important to do that. They're not going to lose to Texas. That was their danger game. They survived it. I think they go into the playoffs with one loss, but so what? That is a good team. They've had some running back injuries. Presumably they will be healthier in late December. They have a really good defense, though. The secondary looked horrible in the first half, but they clamped down in the second half. And again, Marcel Reed was incredible in the final 2 quarters.
Mike Huguenin is the guru. He joins us every Monday to talk a little college football. Mike, we always appreciate you. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
I cut him off. That was on me.
Way to go.
Sorry. Usually he just hangs up. So I was ready for that. Yeah, he wanted to say his fond farewell to us. Texas A&M, I know they came back, and that's impressive, but they're a little too sketchy for me. The fact that they even went down by 27 to South Carolina, to me, that's major red flag stuff. So I will not be buying in on Texas A&M moving forward. 2-minute drill coming your way next.
Game on with Bianchi and Kravitz. We'll be right back.